Hypatia was a remarkable woman. She was a beacon of knowledge and wisdom in a time when the world was undergoing significant changes. Her life and work have left an indelible mark on history, and her story continues to inspire scholars and thinkers to this day. She lived in Roman Egypt. Alexandria was her home. This city was one of the most important cultural and intellectual centers of the ancient world. It was a melting pot of ideas where scholars from different parts of the world came to share their knowledge and learn from each other. She was known for her intelligence. Hypatia was not just a scholar, she was a polymath. Her intellect spanned various fields, including mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. She was a true Renaissance woman centuries before the Renaissance. Many saw her as the greatest intellectual of her age. Her contemporaries admired her for her profound knowledge and her ability to engage in deep philosophical discussions. She was a respected figure in the academic community of Alexandria. Hypatia was born around 350 AD. This was a time of great political and social upheaval. The Roman Empire was in decline and new powers were emerging. Despite these challenges, Hypatia's family ensured she received an excellent education. We know very little about her early life. However, it is believed that her father, Theon, who was also a renowned scholar, played a significant role in her education. He taught her mathematics and astronomy, laying the foundation for her future achievements. We know more about her work. She was a mathematician. She was an astronomer. Her contributions to these fields were groundbreaking. She wrote several treatises on mathematics and astronomy, some of which were used as textbooks for centuries. And she was a philosopher. Hypatia's philosophical teachings were deeply influenced by Neoplatonism, a school of thought that emphasized the importance of reason and the pursuit of knowledge. She believed in the power of the human mind to understand the mysteries of the universe. She excelled in all these fields. Her ability to integrate different areas of knowledge made her a unique and influential figure. She was not just a scholar, she was a teacher, a mentor, and a role model for many. We know that Hypatia taught in Alexandria. She held a prominent position at the famous Library of Alexandria, where she lectured on mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy. Her lectures attracted students from far and wide. She was a respected teacher. Her students admired her not only for her knowledge, but also for her ability to inspire and challenge them. She encouraged critical thinking and the pursuit of truth. Her students came from all over the Roman Empire. They were drawn to Alexandria by the reputation of its scholars and the promise of learning from the best. Hypatia's classroom was a diverse and vibrant place, reflecting the cosmopolitan nature of the city. This was unusual for a woman at the time. In a male-dominated society, Hypatia's achievements were extraordinary. She broke barriers and challenged the norms of her time, proving that women could excel in fields traditionally reserved for men. But Hypatia was an exceptional woman. Her brilliance and determination set her apart. She was a trailblazer, paving the way for future generations of women scholars. Her story is a tragic one. Hypatia was murdered. Her death was a result of the political and religious turmoil of her time. It was a dark chapter in the history of Alexandria. She was killed by a Christian mob in 415 AD. This act of violence was driven by fear and ignorance. It was a tragic end to the life of a brilliant scholar. It was a sign of the changing times. The Roman Empire was undergoing a transformation, and the rise of Christianity brought with it new challenges and conflicts. The old ways were being replaced by new beliefs and ideologies. Her death marked the end of an era. The intellectual and cultural vibrancy of Alexandria began to fade. The city that had once been a beacon of knowledge was now in decline. Alexandria was a center of learning, but this was changing. The Library of Alexandria, once the greatest repository of knowledge in the ancient world, was no longer the thriving hub it had been. The Roman world was embracing a new religion, Christianity. This shift had profound implications for the intellectual landscape of the time. The tension between the old and the new was palpable. This new religion was sometimes hostile to intellectualism. The rise of Christianity brought with it a suspicion of the old ways of thinking. Scholars like Hypatia, who represented the intellectual traditions of the past, were often viewed with distrust. Alexandria was one of the greatest cities in the Roman world. Founded in 331 BC by Alexander the Great, it quickly became a beacon of culture and learning. Its strategic location on the Mediterranean coast made it a thriving port city, bustling with trade and commerce. Ships from all over the ancient world docked at its harbors, bringing goods, people, and ideas. It was a port city, The harbor was always alive with activity, as merchants and traders exchanged goods from distant lands. This constant flow of commerce made Alexandria a melting pot of cultures and traditions. It was located in Egypt at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe. This unique position allowed it to become a hub of cultural exchange and intellectual growth. It was founded by Alexander the Great. His vision was to create a city that would be a center of learning and culture, rivaling even Athens in its intellectual pursuits. Alexandria was a melting pot of cultures. People from all over the ancient world came to live, work, and study in this vibrant city. Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians lived there. They brought with them their own customs, languages, and knowledge, creating a rich tapestry of cultural diversity. It was a place of commerce. The markets were filled with exotic goods, from spices and silks to precious metals and rare artifacts. It was also a place of learning. The city attracted scholars, philosophers, and scientists who were eager to share their knowledge and make new discoveries. The Library of Alexandria was famous. It was not just a repository of books, but a symbol of the city's dedication to knowledge and learning. It was the largest library in the ancient world. With thousands of scrolls on every subject imaginable, it was a treasure trove of information. It contained scrolls on every subject imaginable. From mathematics and astronomy to philosophy and literature, the library was a beacon of human knowledge. Scholars came from far and wide to study there. They were drawn by the promise of learning and the opportunity to engage with the greatest minds of their time. The library was a symbol of Alexandria's intellectual importance. It represented the city's commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and the sharing of ideas. It was a place where knowledge was valued. Scholars would gather to discuss, debate, and learn from one another, fostering an environment of intellectual growth. This was the world that Hypatia was born into, a world where knowledge was revered and the pursuit of learning was a noble endeavor. Hypatia's father was Theon. He was a mathematician. He was also an astronomer. He worked at the Library of Alexandria. Theon was Hypatia's teacher. He taught her mathematics. He taught her astronomy. He also taught her philosophy. Hypatia surpassed her father in learning. She became more famous than him. This is a testament to her intellect. Theon and Hypatia worked together. They wrote commentaries on classical texts. These commentaries were highly regarded. They helped preserve ancient knowledge. Hypatia wrote commentaries on classical texts. She wrote about mathematics. She wrote about astronomy. She wrote about philosophy. Her work was very influential. Her commentaries helped to keep ancient knowledge alive. They were studied by scholars for centuries. We know that Hypatia invented a device. It was called an astrolabe. This device was used to measure the positions of the stars. Hypatia was also a respected philosopher. She taught the philosophy of Neoplatonism. This philosophy was popular in her time. Section 5. The Roman Empire and Alexandria. Hypatia lived in the Roman Empire. It was a time of great change. The empire was in decline. There was political instability. Christianity was spreading throughout the empire. It was a new religion, challenging the old Roman gods. Christianity was becoming more powerful. It was popular with the people and was also gaining influence with the Roman emperors. The rise of Christianity had a profound impact on the Roman Empire. It led to changes in law, society, and culture. Section 6. Cyril and the rise of a new religion. Cyril was the Bishop of Alexandria. He was a powerful figure in the early Christian church. He was a controversial figure. Cyril was a zealous defender of Christianity. He wanted to make Christianity the only religion in the Roman Empire. Cyril was opposed to paganism. He was also opposed to other forms of Christianity. He believed that his form of Christianity was the only true faith. Cyril used his power to persecute his opponents. He closed pagan temples. He exiled those who disagreed with him. His actions created a climate of fear and intolerance in Alexandria. Section 7. The Death of Hypatia. Hypatia was a pagan. She was also a woman. She was an intellectual. These made her a target. Hypatia was accused of being a witch. She was accused of being a sorcerer. She was accused of being an enemy of Christianity. A mob of Christian fanatics attacked Hypatia. They dragged her through the streets of Alexandria. They murdered her. Hypatia's death was a tragedy. It was a sign of the times. It showed the growing intolerance of the early Christian church. Section 8. Ancient thoughts, modern revival. Hypatia's death marked the end of an era. The classical world was fading. The Christian world was rising. Hypatia was largely forgotten for centuries. Her work was lost. Her story was forgotten. But she was not completely forgotten. In the Renaissance, there was a renewed interest in classical learning. Scholars rediscovered Hypatia. They recognized her as a brilliant mind. Hypatia's story has resonated with many people in modern times. She is seen as a symbol of intellectual freedom. She is also seen as a victim of religious intolerance. Section 9. The enduring legacy of Hypatia. Hypatia was a remarkable woman, a beacon of knowledge and wisdom in a time when such qualities were often overshadowed by conflict and ignorance. Born in Alexandria, she was a symbol of the city's rich intellectual tradition. She was a brilliant mathematician whose work laid the foundations for many mathematical principles we still use today. Her contributions to algebra and geometry were groundbreaking, and her teachings inspired countless students. She was a gifted astronomer who gazed at the stars and sought to understand the cosmos. Her observations and theories about the movements of celestial bodies were ahead of her time, influencing future generations of astronomers. She was a respected philosopher, engaging in deep discussions about the nature of reality, ethics, and the human condition. Her philosophical works and teachings were revered by her contemporaries and continue to be studied today. She lived in a time of great change, as the ancient world was transitioning into the medieval era. Alexandria was a melting pot of cultures, ideas, and beliefs, and Hypatia thrived in this vibrant environment. She was a victim of religious intolerance, as tensions between different religious and philosophical groups escalated. Her commitment to knowledge and reason made her a target for those who feared change and progress. She was murdered for her beliefs, a tragic end to a life dedicated to the pursuit of truth. Her death marked a dark chapter in the history of intellectual freedom, but her legacy endured. Despite her tragic end, Hypatia's story is ultimately one of hope. Her life and work continue to inspire those who seek knowledge and understanding, reminding us of the enduring power of the human spirit. It is a reminder of the power of the human mind, capable of great discoveries and profound insights. Hypatia's intellectual achievements are a testament to the limitless potential of human curiosity and ingenuity. It is a reminder of the importance of intellectual freedom, the right to think, question, and explore without fear of persecution. Hypatia's life serves as a powerful example of the value of free thought and open inquiry. Hypatia's legacy continues to inspire us today. Her story encourages modern scholars, scientists, and thinkers to push the boundaries of knowledge and to stand up for the principles of reason and evidence. She reminds us to fight for what we believe in, to defend the pursuit of knowledge against ignorance and intolerance. Her courage in the face of adversity is a beacon for all who value truth and wisdom. She reminds us to never stop learning, to remain curious and open-minded throughout our lives. Hypatia's dedication to education and discovery is a timeless lesson for all generations. She reminds us to never give up on the pursuit of knowledge, to continue seeking answers and understanding, no matter the obstacles. Hypatia's enduring legacy is a testament to the unyielding quest for truth.